Hey guys, Kim here. Today I'm going to show you my most popular cookie recipe, and that is my soft chocolate chip cookies. Now I say it's my most popular because if you go to Instagram and type in #KimHealthyCookies, you will see all kinds of different variations from people trying the recipe and putting their own spin on it. So I'm going to show you the most basic version of the recipe, and then you can let your imagination run wild and come up with all kinds of crazy cookies. So first thing you're going to need is vanilla protein powder. I'm using the Quest Vanilla Milkshake. This stuff bakes really, really well, so I highly recommend it. You're also going to need any kind of canned white beans. I'm using Great Northern beans, but you can use chickpeas, garbanzo beans, navy beans, any white bean that comes in a can. We're also going to need canned pumpkin, and no, these cookies are not going to taste like pumpkin, I promise. We're also going to need egg substitute. Of course, you can use real eggs. You will need some vanilla, some baking powder, and of course, they would not be chocolate chip cookies without chocolate chips. So I like using little mini ones, but you can use whatever kind and whatever flavor that you want. I also recommend using some sort of sweetener, so whichever kind you prefer. I'm going to use about 5 packets. Okay, first thing you're going to do is take your beans and drain and rinse them. Get all the liquid out of there so they're nice and dry. And then you're going to add to your blender cup or your food processor your beans, pumpkin, egg, and vanilla. We're going to go ahead and puree that. And depending on what kind of bean you use, you might need to add a little bit extra egg, or you could also add like a splash of milk. I know the chickpeas are usually a little bit harder, so when I use those, I usually do need to add maybe like a tablespoon more of egg, or like I said, a little bit of milk. So just go ahead and blend that up nice and smooth. Alright, so here's what your batter should look like once it is pureed, kind of like a pudding consistency. And then we're just going to add the rest of our ingredients. So I have 1 scoop of vanilla protein powder, and then I have my baking powder and sweetener. So go ahead and get that mixed up first, and then we will add our chocolate chips. And feel free to add anything else to this too. You could add some nuts, some raisins, a little bit of peanut butter. So you can get really super creative with this. Okay, so there it is with the protein powder mixed in. Now we're just going to go ahead and add our chocolate chips. Now the original recipe calls for 2 tablespoons, but I'm feeling a little crazy, so I'm going to add a little bit extra, but feel free to add as much or as little chocolate as you want. You could even leave the chocolate chips out and just have kind of like a soft sugar cookie, and I've actually made them that way and they're still delicious. So whatever you want to do, feel free. So now we're going to get out our baking sheet, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, invest in one of these baking mats. They are wonderful and nothing will stick to them. So if you don't have one, just go ahead and use some parchment paper, or make sure you really spray your pan well or these cookies will stick. So the batter is pretty sticky, so we're just going to go ahead and do like drop cookies. And I always aim for 1 dozen. You can make them as big or as small as you like. Alright, so there we have 1 dozen cookies, and these are going to be baked at 350 for about 8 to 10 minutes. And you really want to keep a close eye on them, especially the first time you bake them, because if you do overbake them, they will dry out and they're not nearly as good. So 8 to 10 minutes, and then we'll have some delicious chocolate chip cookies. Alright, so here is the finished product. 12 warm, soft chocolate chip cookies. And they are a little bit orange in color. That's just from the pumpkin, which is what makes them super, super soft. But they are so amazing, and you can get really creative with them. So I've used chocolate protein powder and white chocolate chips, or peanut butter protein and marshmallows. So you can add all kinds of different things, use different flavor protein powders, and come up with some really awesome cookies. So this whole plate is under 400 calories, low carb, low fat, plus you're getting 35 grams of protein. So, I don't know about you, but I have cookies for breakfast on the daily, and I think it is the perfect way to start any day. So, give them a try, let me know what you think, and as always guys, thanks for watching.